Let's sit down.
Check out the members.
Yeah. I'm talking to
me.
Yes.
You want to speak to me?
Yes. I want to.
Why not me, man?
There's a reason. There's a reason.
Is Arabic better?
Yeah. No. I choose him.
I'll tell you. I'm his Khalifa.
Yeah, because he came up to me and he said, yeah.
This
is nice.
Yeah. But Adnan, listen, I want one as well. Like, send me one.
No problem. No problem. So let's talk about our differences.
Yeah, go back a little bit, man. He's like around the but get him some milkshake and ice cream.
No, this is fine. It's fine. No. Bring it. Yeah. That's fine. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, those of you who are watching, firstly, let me thank you all for watching, for giving your precious time to us. Secondly, we had our Shia brothers come to us in the park today. This is Sayyid Ali.
Sorry, my brother here, respected brother, he saw me. He said, he remembered my name, sure. He said, Sayyid, I want to speak to you.
Yes, exactly, because he's a nice guy.
I didn't come hunting for business.
No, he didn't. He did not. He came to the park, I saw him, and I said, I want to talk to you. Let's talk. Because I know I can talk to this person respectfully, right? What happens in Shia Sunni discussions very often, unfortunately, discussions turn into insulting matches. You know, there is a lot of abuse from both sides, sarcasm, you know, unpleasant language. We don't want any of that. My view is that we can talk to each other, we can share our values, our views, and we can represent our respective theologies and disagree at the same time. You know, because obviously it is clear that the Shias and the Sunnis have a different epistemology. We have different sources. We have different understandings of the Quran, of the Sunnah, or even the concept of Sunnah, and even Allah, I would say. Okay, so we differ on major issues. That's why we are two different schools, right? So I want to have a chat with Sayyid Ali today about these things, possibly for an hour or two. Hopefully in a very cordial fashion, and I will request from the audience, those who are watching, just listen carefully and not intervene, because obviously we don't need intervention. We are representing ourselves. I'm representing myself. Sayyid Ali is representing himself. Let us talk to each other in a friendly way, and inshallah we'll take it from there. That's it. So what do you have to say, Sheikh?
No,
okay, that's it. So no problem. Sheikh is the title of this thing. So one of the major issues we have is the Shia brothers around the world, scholars in particular, they claim that they are the true followers of the Ahlul Bayt, right? And this is a concept, or this is a notion we have a problem with as Sunnis. We believe that that's not true. The Shias are not actually following the Ahlul Bayt. They are actually following the ones who attributed information to the Ahlul Bayt. Because the Ahlul Bayt never came to the Shia community in person, the community we know today, and taught them anything, right? The information that is attributed to the Imams came via chains of narrations. And these chains must be scrutinized. Likewise for us Sunnis. So when we look at the chains, we the Sunnis in particular, we see problems. We see people in the chains who cannot be telling the truth.
We have the same problem, by the way.
No problem. Yeah. I understand. So this is one of the reasons. So let's talk about this, that are the Shias actually following the Ahlul Bayt? I'm saying we the Sunnis, who are the majority in the world, currently speaking, we are the true followers of the Ahlul Bayt because we have authentic information attributed to them.
The wives of the Prophet within the category of Ahlul Bayt, we have a different interpretation. We're not going to discuss that. But if we're going to primarily stick on who follows the Ahlul Bayt, then I would like to demonstrate 3 simple examples today, which proves that you do not take your religion from Ahlul Bayt. The first one is the fact that you guys do not read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You do not believe it to be part of the Holy Quran. So when you look at the Holy Quran, you open it out, you look at the first verse, Surah Fatiha, you do not include Surah Fatiha to be the first, Surah Fatiha, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim to be the first verse. And this was the belief of the Ahlul Bayt to believe Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim was part of the Quran, and it was the belief of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The next point is when it comes to the issue of Salah. The Ahlul Bayt used to read Hayya la khair al-amal, okay? Whereas you guys, with the Sunni brothers, they read Hayya la khair al-Nawm, okay? And again, this is the second example. The third example is the issue of, for example, of Taraweeh. We just come from the holy month of Ramadan. Some of your scholars, like Imam Shukani, clearly mentioned in his book, Nail al-Antar, he says that Ahlul Bayt consider Taraweeh to be a bid'ah. So I would like to know what aspect of the Ahlul Bayt do you follow? Do you follow them on Tawheed? Because they definitely do not share the same opinions as you do. They don't follow. They don't have the same belief as you on the issue of Isma. They don't have the same issue on the matter of fiqh. Your own scholars have admitted themselves that when it comes to the Ahlul Bayt, the Shias are very exclusive of following them on these particular issues.
Okay, thank you for that, Sayyid Ali. The issue is we're not discussing certain theological points or positions, because if we start doing that, then we will be discussing the entirety of Al-Kafi and Al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. That's absurd. That's impossible to do in this short sitting. What we're discussing is the actual concept of the Ahlul Bayt and how do we follow them, the epistemology.
Okay.
Epistemology means the theory of knowledge. How do we actually reach certainty? How do we know what we are taught in the name of the Ahlul Bayt is actually true?
Yeah.
Was actually taught by the Ahlul Bayt? That's a very important question, and this is what I want to address.
Sure.
Instead of going into certain reports of Al-Kafi, Man la yahdur al-Faqih, Al-Istibtar or Tahdib, 4 books or our 6 books, we'll be here for another year, easily, right? So we should avoid discussing that. What we should focus on is the concept. How do we actually know that these teachings that are attributed to the Ahlul Bayt are actually from the Ahlul Bayt? Right. So you mentioned things like, who are the Ahlul Bayt, for example. Let's assume, for the sake of the discussion, we say the Ahlul Bayt are the ones you choose.
Yes.
Okay. As Sunnis, we have a view of the Ahlul Bayt. We have a comprehensive view. Quranically, we know the Ahlul Bayt are primarily the wives. And that's another discussion. It's a very deep discussion. It is based upon the Quran. The verses of Surah Al-Ahzab from verse 30 to 34, when you read these 4 verses in context, you get to know, you get to realize that the wives are definitely, by default, Quranically, are the Ahlul Bayt.
See, we now, sorry, just a quick point, yeah? Obviously, he's staying in the Sunni position, but the Shia have a different opinion about this, because when we look at the verse, and again, we're not debating this particular verse here, when we mention the word, if we look at the Arabic, it mentions the word rijis, and Allah talks about different types of rijis, okay? One of the types of rijis is what a woman has on a monthly basis, for example. This is also regarded as rijis. And we know the wives of the Prophet suffered from rijis, so therefore we would automatically exclude them when Allah says He removes all rijis from them. So let's not discuss ayat here. Let's stick to. Okay, so what you try to say is that how do we?
But the Quran is not talking about that rijis.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Okay,
that the Quran is not talking about monthly cycles. Quran is not addressing that, because how do we know what the Quran is talking about? By reading the 4 verses,
right,
from 30 to 34.
Sure.
When you read, Allah is talking about spiritual purity.
Yeah.
Allah is talking about spiritual uprightness.
Right.
Be upright, straighten your voice, do not talk to people in soft tone, lest there is someone with a disease in the heart, he is inclined towards you. This is what Allah is talking about.
Way,
Allah wants to remove impurity from you.
Let's not forget who was around at the time when Allah also mentions when you speak to the wives, speak to them behind the veil. And which is interesting because it goes into another topic of the term al-Mu'mineen, the mothers of the believers. And as we know from Islam, a mother is not required to do hijab from their children, which proves that al-Mu'mineen is just exclusive to the issue of marriage. But anyway, so what you're saying is, brother, is that how do we establish whether or not the information that has come to us is from the Ahlul Bayt? So, we would say that when it comes to our books of hadith, many of these reports have been mass transmitted to us. These reports have been mass transmitted to us, and we accept them. The issue is not whether or not the reliability of these reports, because even now, I can present you a Sahih tradition which may go against what you believe. But you won't accept it because it's a Shia tradition. Likewise, you will present something to me from your books that could well easily have a Sahih standard. But I will not accept it because it's your book, you understand? So, you know, if you want to talk about how do we understand what information has reached us, I'd say through tawatur and mutawatir reports that has been passed down from one generation to the next.
Thank you for that. You see, I'm not going to give you reports from, for example, Abu Huraira, or from Umar. We hardly have any, right? Or from Abdullah bin Umar. Umar. I said Umar. We hardly have any.
No, Abdullah bin Umar. He's the biggest narrator.
No, Umar.
Abdullah
bin Umar is the biggest, one of the biggest. So I said about Umar that we hardly have any, right? So Abdullah bin Umar, Abu Huraira, you don't accept them.
No.
Okay. So I'm talking about.
So we can accept them. We can accept them within certain conditions.
Okay.
Within certain, if they fulfill certain conditions, we can accept reports.
Even Abu Huraira?
Yeah, why not? Of course.
Is he not? No. Do you accept a report from disbelievers? Munafiqun?
No. Okay, now hold on. Wait, one second. Okay, if you want to, no, wait, one second. It's a good, valid question. Valid question. The brother said that do we accept reports from Munafiqun? Well, it depends who you define as Munafiqun, because the Nawasib, by definition, by default, were Munafiqs because they kept the hatred of Imam Ali alayhi salam in the heart. You have narrated from Nawasib narrators, so I can very easily ask you, do you take from Munafiqs?
No, we don't.
We're not going to do. You do Nawasib.
No, wait. Nawasib.
Even from Khariji.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Marwan.
No, I'm not talking about Marwan. I can give you traditions. I can mention now 33 narrators from Bukhari and Muslim at least, or within the 6 books, who were known Nawasib. Okay? For example, interestingly, the son of Abu Huraira, who was called Bilal ibn Abu Huraira, who fought against Mawla Ali in Safin, was defined as a Nawasib, and he was also a companion of the Prophet.
Now, this question again goes back to our science of hadith. Our muhaddithin have studied these accusations. Certain individuals were accused of certain things by certain later authorities. So what did our muhaddithin do? They scrutinized every single one of these accusations. For example, Ikramah.
Khariji.
Exactly. Ikramah was accused of being a Khariji. Ibn al-Hajar al-Asqalani.
He was a Khariji, but not accused.
Wait. Again, if you want to go into that discussion whether he was a Khariji or not, we're going to be here for another, maybe...
the principle you brought up, the Nawasib, the one that's actually agreed that he's a Nawasib. Talk about those.
So Ibn al-Hajar al-Asqalani, in his Muqaddamah of Sahih al-Bukhari, he writes an entire chapter on Ikramah, and he brings in every single accusation and dismantles it, and he gives his reasons as to why he doesn't believe Ikramah. Ibn al-Hajar al-Asqalani in his Muqaddamah. Okay, so all of these accusations, we have scrutinized them. Now, amazingly, what our Shia brothers failed to do.
I'm talking about the ones who your scholars of Ilm al-Rijal, like Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, al-Mizzi, Dhahabi, all these scholars confirm that these individuals were Nawasib, the Nasbis, and the narrators within the 6 books of Hadith.
Yes, and I'm not denying that. There's certain
so then it comes back to your point.
No.
From Munafiqs. I can ask you the same question.
Okay, no. First of all, you see, anyone who's a Nasibi, okay, was declared to be a Nasibi in the Sunni school, right? It was clear that this person was a hater of Ali bin Abi Talib, or he was someone who used to curse Ali bin Abi Talib, or he was known to have used bad language of Ali bin Abi Talib. And for that reason, we have rejected certain people to be authorities for us in deen. We do not take our deen from certain people. Likewise, in Sahih al-Bukhari, you will see certain people with tashayyu'.
Yes.
In the chains. Yes. So our Shia brothers will always point to the Nasibis.
They're not tashayyu'
allegedly.
To us, by the way.
Yeah. Tashayyu', what do we mean by tashayyu'? These people, some of them, they actually preferred tafdiliya. They actually preferred Ali either over Abu Bakr and Umar or Uthman. Okay, so Imam Bukhari never took hadith from a Kufi who was known to be a Rafidi. Okay, someone who was into cursing the Sahaba. Okay, or anyone like that. Someone who had.
But they took narrations from Khariji and Nasbis who fought against Amir al-Mu'mineen and used to curse him.
Okay, now fighting against Amir al-Mu'mineen. Okay, this is another very good question. Is fighting against Ali bin Abi Talib tantamount? Is it tantamount?
Oh, yeah.
Tantamount to being a Nasibi? No, we don't accept that. No, because Allah says in the Quran very clearly that when 2 groups of believers mu'mineen.
Right.
Allah uses the word. When two groups of believers fight each other, make up between them.
Right.
It is very possible for believers to fight,
Okay.
to have a war. Let me finish. Please, yeah. Don't worry about that. So it is possible. Now we believe Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu was a believer. He was Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was the leader of believers. Karamallahu wajh. Alayhi salam. Alayhi salam.
By the way, this is good. I'm glad he said alayhi salam. This is evidence that using alayhi salam is permitted, and there's a difference of opinion within Sunni ulama as well.
I believe those who argue against this are fools.
Yeah. Okay, so
they don't know what alayhi salam means.
So
they simply don't know. The problem is the Arabic language. They don't know what alayhi salam means. So anyone who argues alayhi salam upon all of them.
So my big brother Adnan said that in the Holy Quran, it says when two groups of Muslims fight, you must bring peace, and this is evidence that two groups of Muslims, meaning those who fought against Amir al-Mu'mineen, can be Muslim.
Believers, mu'min. No, they can be believers. Mu'mineen.
But this is not entirely honest from his side, whether or not he knows or not, right? Let me give you guys a little insight on this verse, okay? And remember this, and please go home, search this up. When this verse was revealed, okay, there was two groups of people during the time of the Holy Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him. One was an individual called Abdullah ibn Ubay, who was called the chief of hypocrites, okay? From his camp, they fought, there was a fight, there was an ikhtilaf between a group of Sahaba and this, a follower of Abdullah ibn Ubay. They had a quarrel argument. So what the Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, said, when two groups of believers fight, bring peace. Now, if you are saying that the term believer means that the person who leads the group is a Muslim, no, because otherwise it means that a mu'min.
Yeah.
Then it means that Abdullah ibn Ubay must be a mu'min.
No.
The chief of hypocrites.
No.
It came for him.
Wait, let me explain.
Okay.
The Quran tells us there's a difference between mu'min and a Muslim.
Okay. No,
Allah never called a hypocrite a mu'min in the Quran.
He does,
never.
He does. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Holy Quran, when it comes to the mushrikeen women, it actually uses the word mu'minah. It says that when the believing women who were called, test them with their belief. In fact, I will show you from the Quran today that the term Muslim doesn't always mean that the person is a believer or a mu'min.
In the Quran,
but please answer Abdullah ibn Ubay, then we'll come to the verses.
Okay, in the Quran, let me explain something. Yeah. When Islam and Iman are used in the same verse, right? These two mean two different things. But Iman as a term generally in the Quran, okay, when it's used, it can also mean Iman of the higher level, or it can also mean Islam, accepting Islam. For example, Allah says, وَقَالَتِ الْأَعْرَابُ آمَنَّا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَقَالَتِ الْأَعْرَابُ آمَنَّا. The Arab, the Bedouins of the desert, they say, we have believed. Allah says, no, you have not yet believed.
Yes.
You have only submitted. You have only become Muslims. Yeah. This is a well-known reality in the Shia school. That
proves my point.
Wait. Say it, Ali. This is a discussion, man. Yeah. This is a well-known reality in the Shia school that they call the general Muslim population Muslims. Even the Sunnis are Muslims to the Shia. They are not mu'mins. They are not believers. People like me and 90% of the Muslims around the world are only Muslims. They're like the Arab. They haven't truly submitted. The real believers to the Shias are the Shias, who actually believe in the Ahlul Bayt and the teachings. This is and they're confirming this. Yes? So this is why I'm saying the Quran is not saying that about the two fighting groups.
Okay.
The Quran is actually saying they are believing groups.
Yes, it does. Let me read you the hadith. Let me read you the hadith.
They have Iman.
Okay.
But then again, say Ali, we are again going off the epistemology.
We're coming back to that.
Let's come back to that.
But let me finish on this point. So, Brother Adnan mentioned that this verse, and if two groups of believers, mu'mineen, fall to fighting them, make peace between them.
Yes,
so what he said was that those who fought Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam were not kafir, because Allah says in the Quran two groups of Muslims can fight.
Do you believe they're kuffar?
Wait, I'll get to that point.
No, but do you
I'll get to that point.
Say yes or no?
So I'm gonna prove from his books today.
For fighting Ali bin Abi Talib was Aisha and Muawiyah and the other Sahaba were the kuffar?
We will come to that. Yeah, according to your principles. So let's go to your most authentic book collection, Bukhari, to look at the tafsir of this verse about two groups of believers fighting. And it was said to the Prophet, narrated Anas, it was said to the Prophet, would that you see Abdullah ibn Ubay. So the Prophet went to him riding a donkey, and the Muslims accompanied him walking on salty barren land. When the Prophet reached Abdullah ibn Ubay, the latter said, keep away from me. By Allah, the bad smell of your donkey has harmed me. Astaghfirullah. On that, the Ansari man said to Abdullah, by Allah, the smell of your donkey of Allah's Messenger is better smell than you. On that, from that two men abused each other, which caused friends of the two men to get angry, and two groups started fighting with sticks, shoes and hands, like what you see in the park sometimes. Yeah? Okay. Then it was said, this verse was revealed, and if two groups of believers failed fighting, then make peace between them.
This makes it so clear.
Say Bukhari, volume 3, book 49, hadith 856.
Thank you.
So this demonstrates that if we accept that the term believer always means believer, we have to accept Abdullah ibn Ubay and his supporters were believers.
No. Yes. Wrong.
Prove it, refute me.
I'll tell you why.
Refute me.
Here, Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. This man was a clear-cut munafiq. We know that.
He's called a Muslim.
But those who know the history of Medina, they also know that Medina was inhabited by two tribes.
By the way, he was such a big hypocrite. The Prophet read his salah, funeral prayer, and he gave him a shirt.
I agree. We believe he was Raisul Munafiqeen. We are the ones, our sources tell you that these were the Raisul Munafiqeen. Okay. Now the issue is,
your sources say he was Muslim as well.
Anyone.
A moment.
Wait. Yeah. I can give you a better example. No problem. The issue of accusing of Aisha. Right. Yeah.
Which the Sahaba started, by the way. As the brother knows, the Badri Sahaba were amongst those people who accused Aisha of this act first. It was the Sahaba.
Okay. No, not Sahaba, one. No. Be careful. Badri. Of course, Badri. And how do we know he's Badri? Because when his mother cursed him.
Yes.
And then Aisha heard it. And he said, he's Badri. How can you say that about him? So Aisha is telling us that. So don't say Sahaba. Because that makes it look sound. See, be careful with the language. I'm very careful with the language.
There was three, bro. There was three people.
Yeah, Hassan bin Thabit.
Yeah. So
Abdullah bin Ubay. Okay, now amazingly.
Okay, let's not.
Wait.
No.
I'm trying to dismantle. Look, listen. Of course, but let me dismantle your point.
Basically, come back to your
understanding is incorrect.
Do we take our narrations from the Ahlul Bayt?
No, but now you raise questions and you want. I should be able to respond. Ibn Salul was a munafiq, clear-cut, everyone knew. Hassan bin Thabit was not. The Badri Sahabi was not. And the other, the woman who was lashed. So there were certain companions who were actually lashed by the Prophet ﷺ. Right? Ibn Salul was part of the accusation. He was not lashed. He was not punished. Because he was already out as far as the Prophet ﷺ was concerned. So this shows that being part of a conspiracy or being part of a group doesn't necessarily mean that every single individual is of the same view or of the same status. So the example you gave from Bukhari actually dismantles your own argument.
Okay, how?
Right? We're not saying that those groups who fought each other from the Ansar, Aus and Khazraj, were actually munafiqeen. One was clear-cut, confirmed munafiq, Ibn Salul. The rest were not munafiqeen. So your application of the verse or your interpretation of the verse based upon a Bukhari report is completely flawed. I'm sorry. So now coming back, now you want to come back.
How is it flawed? Wait, how is it flawed? Look.
Now you want to continue with this?
Look. There's two groups of people. One group from the Prophet's side.
No, it wasn't like that.
I just read you the hadith.
No, it wasn't like.
I'm reading the hadith again. It's in the hadith.
Okay.
Go back to the hadith. You say, listen. There was two groups of people. There was the group of the Sahaba with the Prophet who was with. Then there was a group of Abdullah ibn Ubay. They were hypocrites. Okay. Those who followed Abdullah ibn Ubay were the Muslim or were the munafiqs as well.
Good question.
Would you say?
I'll put a question back on you. Do you believe Nahjul Balagha is an authentic?
What's Nahjul Balagha? No, I don't.
You don't? No, okay. So all those curses of Ali ibn Abi come to us and say Jesus is God. He is a prophet. He is a messenger. There are verses in the Gospel of Luke and in Matthew and Mark that he was a prophet. He was a messenger. But now the Christians are claiming he is also God. Okay? So we asked them to show us one statement where Jesus could have easily said, I am God, therefore worship me. Jesus had the time to go to the tree and curse the tree. Jesus had the time to call the Pharisees vipers, adulterers, hypocrites, liars. All of these things Jesus could easily say. Jesus could walk around and talk to people about a number of things. But all he couldn't do was make one statement. Likewise, Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, he had the time to stand on the minbar and deliver khutbahs. He had all that time, radiallahu anhu, karamallahu wajh, all of that. But he didn't have the time to make one statement that, ladies and gentlemen, my followers, my Shia, these people, the camp of Muawiyah, are kuffar murtadeen. Aisha, the camp of Aisha, kuffar murtadeen. Okay, therefore fight them and have no mercy. Khawarij, kuffar murtadeen. In fact, Ali bin Abi Talib, the authentic reports we have from him, alayhi salam, people came to him and asked him about Khawarij, last point. Are they disbelievers? He said, no, they are our brothers, but they have rebelled against us.
Brothers, like how in the Holy Quran, Allah also used... Okay, so coming back to the point, first point, what was the Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali alayhi salam, position about Muawiyah? There's a tradition mentioned in Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba which says that Imam Ali alayhi salam cursed Amr ibn As, Muawiyah and all those who support him. The tradition is Sahih. I can show you now. Point number one.
Okay.
So this is
before we go, show me now.
I'll show you now. No problem.
Show me now who authenticated.
I will show you.
No.
I will show you.
We're not going any further.
Okay. First point.
You made a claim. You made a claim that Ali bin Abi Talib cursed Muawiyah and Amr bin As.
In his qunut.
I believe.
100%.
No. Okay, you're going to show me curse. Curse is lan.
Yes.
Curse is lan.
Yeah. And I can show you also where the Prophet said.
You're going to show me words.
And sub on the
La'natullah ala Muawiyah.
No problem.
Ala Amr ibn As.
No problem. I'll show you. First point. Second point, in Bukhari it says, if two groups of Muslims fight, then both of them will be in hellfire. So my question to you, after I showed you this tradition, that says that Muawiyah was cursed by Amir al-Mu'mineen in the tradition of Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, and your scholars authenticated it. Can you curse a Muslim in your religion?
First of all,
I'll bring you the hadith.
You're going to show me the hadith that it is actually authentic.
No problem.
That Ali bin Abi Talib cursed. Sayyid Ali used the words cursed. Criticizing, rebuking, okay, and being angry is not a problem for us. Okay, cursing is a different matter. We as Sunnis cannot imagine Ali bin Abi Talib, someone as pure as him, as righteous as him, as virtuous as him, can actually curse a Muslim. No.
Okay, shall I tell you something now? You've got a chapter in Sahih Muslim which explicitly says those who the Prophet cursed and insulted. Okay, I'll show you the traditions. We can get to that. I'll find you the hadith from Muslim.
Well, Allah says in the Quran, La'natullahi ala al-kadhibin.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah.
The kadhibin. So who is Allah talking about? Allah is talking about.
I'm talking about sub, the Prophet.
Sub is not curse.
Okay.
Be careful with
swearing.
This. You see what Muhammad Ijab was talking about. That a basic prerequisite for such intricate discussion is the Arabic language. Sub is not cursing.
Okay, swearing.
No. Sub can mean rebuking, reprimanding.
Okay, swear.
Reprimanding. Okay, yeah. Well.
So what would you call swearing then?
Swearing has a number of different words.
Okay, so give me any word for swearing then.
There are a number of different words.
So anyway, I will show you from your books from today. It's from Sahih Muslim where you have a chapter where the Prophet swore.
But do you realize where we're going with this? Yeah. So we were talking about Ahlul Bayt. Again, because you're gonna throw one thing at me, I'm gonna throw 5 things at you. Then you're gonna throw another 10 things at me.
You carry on,
throw 20
and
things.
I will find you the tradition.
Stop the swearing and get to the thing.
Yeah, get to the Ahlul Bayt. I started by ceding territory. I ceded my territory. You know, when you're defending your territory, you sometimes you have to leave the fields and go and lock yourself in the castle so that you can fight a siege battle. So I'm trying to fight a siege battle now. I'm under attack. You're attacking my theology. You're saying
you attack it on the slide. That's what you do.
No.
Yeah.
Look at me. I've got such. People tell me I've got a nice smile.
It's those with the smile.
Are they right? Okay. I'm smiling. I'm friendly. I'm brotherly.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah. So I'm saying I am willing to accept for the sake of the argument. Because if we discuss whether the wives are the Ahlul Bayt or not, it doesn't benefit us as Sunnis. We have our view. We're not going to change that. Yeah, we're not going to change that. The wives are according to the
I've got the tradition. So the tradition is from Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba. Okay? And the hadith...
Give me the Arabic.
No problem, no problem. I've got the scan for you, I've got the book for you. If any of you want it, I'll show
No, I want to see the Arabic.
No problem, okay. So let me read the tradition. It says, Abdul Rahman narrated, he said, I prayed Fajr with Ali alayhi salam. Okay? He added, he made qanoot.
Are you sure this is from Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba?
Yes.
Alayhi salam?
No. The alayhi salam I said.
Oh, you said, okay. Yeah.
You said alayhi salam earlier as well. Okay, so
I believe in it, but I know the language of the Muhaddithin.
Yeah, of course. Bukhari used alayhi salam as well, even Albani.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, Abdul Rahman narrated that he read Salah, Fajr prayer with Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam. Then in his qanoot he said, Ya Allah, may you judge and punish Muawiyah and his sect and his followers, Amr ibn As and his followers, Abi al-Awar al-Salami and his followers, and Abdullah ibn Qais and his followers. So the point is, look, in Islam, as this respected brother believes, it's not permitted to, number one, to fight another Muslim. If you do, you go to hellfire.
You change your discussion
Number
now.
two,
You said
you're not
Ali
allowed
cursed
to
them.
Insult them.
Do you remember?
Yes,
do you
no
remember?
problem.
Sayyid Ali claimed
No
that
problem.
Ali. My contention was, show me where Ali cursed them.
Yes, he
my
did.
contention was very clear, very precise. Show me where Ali cursed them. And you said it is in Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba. So this is why I request from my Shia brothers and sisters around the world and Sunnis that when you quote our sources, be careful with them. Quote them as they are.
Both people.
Yeah, of course, 100%. And to the Sunnis, my advice is, when our Shia brothers bring sources to you in translations, never accept them. Not because they're not trustworthy. Not because they're not trustworthy. Because they can be mistaken. They can be mistaken. Or someone who taught them was mistaken. Or someone who taught them might be a liar. Okay? So
Likewise,
I'm not saying, of course, likewise, 100%.
If a Sunni comes, we shouldn't take your
100%. If a Sunni scholar, a Sunni preacher, or Sunni proponent comes to you and brings references to you, always check them. Always. It's good. But I'm specifically saying, because our discussions, a lot of the times our discussions, what happens is they get lost because of misconceptions. So anytime I had a discussion with another brother last week, a Shia brother here, Abu Karrar, and he was throwing things at me. What he was doing, he was mixing truth with falsehood. You know, he was making a milkshake and throwing the milkshake. So I was trying to separate the truth. I said, no, hold on a second. Hold on. He said Khalid bin Walid was raping and pillaging. Oh, hold on a second, man. Calm down. And he was murdering. So, fine. You have a problem. Yeah, step by step. Rape is one charge, pillaging is another, and murder is another. Come on, man.
Step by step.
Fear Allah. And the Prophet is alive. The Prophet ﷺ is alive, and Prophet is still saying he's sayfun min suyufillah. Prophet ﷺ is still using Khalid bin Walid. It doesn't make sense. So the point is, Sayyid Ali, yeah. Again, when you find it, show it to me. Okay, yeah. And you're gonna show me curse. Do you take that back, or you're gonna stand by?
No. Listen, I will. No. Look. I'll take a step even more higher. Okay.
You're gonna show me
I'm going to
curse.
show you the examples where the Prophet himself.
No, forget the Prophet.
Right,
Wait. In this discussion, wait. You said Ali bin Abi Talib, radiyallahu anhu, alayhi salam, karramallahu wajh. Yeah. No, he cursed Muawiyah and Amr bin As. You used the word curse.
Yes.
Conveniently. Okay. I want you to show me the word curse in Arabic and in English translations. If it is not there,
okay, you know what?
just say I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
No.
Yeah.
عليكم السلام. أنا بحكي عربي يا أخي، أنا بتكلم العربية، بتكلم العربية الفصحى.
ما شاء الله.
أنت تقول يسب وأنت تقول كرس. ما معنى كرس بالعربي؟
لعن.
أوكي.
لعن الله اليهود والنصارى اتخذوا قبور أنبيائهم مساجد.
Yes. لعنة يعني كرس. ما معنى السبب بالعربي؟
Curse. Yes.
ما معنى السبب بالإنجليزي؟
Appropriate, huh?
Very well.
ما معنى
Insult. Generally insult. No swear. Insult. Sub is insult. Yes. Khalas, we're going to continue. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So coming back to the issue, I think we've kind of.
Ahlul Bayt. Come back to Ahlul Bayt.
Coming back to Ahlul Bayt, because the tradition was Sunni Abi Shayba. I will have to.
It's done. I think it's done.
No,
It's clear.
I will give you the tradition. I don't have the.
You're going to show me where Ali cursed Muawiyah.
I'll give you a number and I'll send you the tradition.
You're going to show me where Ali cursed Muawiyah and Amr.
Listen, at the end of the day, whether Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salam cursed Muawiyah or whether Muawiyah cursed Amir al-Mu'mineen, we can discuss that. That's not a problem, we can come to that. But if we start from the beginning of the discussion, who follows
Is this Titans TV? Is this Titans TV? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't allow this.
It's ISIS TV, that's what it is.
No.
It's ISIS
I don't
TV.
allow them to film.
Get rid of it then if it's
Wait. I don't allow because this particular channel uses our differences to inflate hatred. I believe that.
Not true.
No.
It doesn't edit.
I don't allow him to film. I'll wait until his camera is gone, then we'll continue. No. Not Titans TV. Not these people. We're having a very friendly Muslim discussion between us. Yeah. These people exploit our differences to make us look like that we're enemies. Are we enemies? No. Alhamdulillah. Right? So we're not enemies. So we're not gonna continue. So wait, Sayyid Ali. Wait. Can you take whose camera is this? Whose camera is this?
And let me just quickly jump in, yeah? Since you wanna slander me.
You want to sit down, bro?
No. I should sit down.
I'm gonna get up
with your slandering. All right? I don't